So 93% of artists are not practicing this, and it's really hurting their progression. I have also avoided this even though I knew this always gave me instant results. In this video I will practice exactly what this is and prove why it's so powerful and what it can do for your art. So what is the most common advice that we hear to improve our art? Paint more and you will get better, they say. But this advice is hardly practical and quite useless, to be honest. Sure, you'll eventually get better by doing something several times, but does that actually mean you're getting better? Let's explore how following this advice could look like. Okay, you're feeling motivated, you want to paint, so you sit down and you paint a nice landscape. Let's say it's a sunset. And the next day you also feel good and you want to paint, and you sit down and maybe paint a rainy day. And the next day you sit down and paint an urban landscape. You see where I'm going with this? Even though you might be getting your mileage done, what's happening is that every single time you sit down, and if you're a true beginner, then every single time you're attempting to do a new painting, you are doing exactly that. You're exposing yourself to something new, therefore making it harder for you to see if you're improving at all or is it just the subject. And that's the problem that I have with this advice. It's just not good enough. It doesn't tell you, it doesn't give you a linear way on how you can achieve what you want to achieve, which is improving. But to improve, it requires something from us that most artists are not willing to do. There's been quite a few days that I have been trapped inside and I was forced to what most artists are not willing to do, which is paint the same subject again and again and again. And before you click off and think that this is a scam of a video, I mean, just go ahead, do that. But I swear that if you don't listen to this, you're not gonna improve and you're gonna wonder why and keep trying to find the secret key to improving your art. And this is it. This is it. And I don't like doing this either, but it is very necessary. I will share with you a way as well on how I balance these two things, the wanting to improve and the wanting to just paint whatever I want to paint. But first, let me explain why this is so powerful, why painting the same thing is just the best thing that we can do as artists. And I see it today. Like, I painted exactly this landscape yesterday, and if you haven't watched that video, you can go watch that or after this is done. But I painted this and it was quite different light, but the shape itself of the light and shadow is kind of the same, or I should say the bigger shapes are still kind of the same, but the whole colors and how the light is being displayed, of course, is very, very different. But what I was able to do by painting this again was fix my composition. I fixed as well like proportions. You see where I'm going with this? When you are actually painting something you painted recently, or even in the same type of light, what happens is that you're able to look at what you just did and then try it again. And because you know what you did wrong the last time, you're able to try not to do it this time, and therefore you're actually improving much quicker because you're fixing your mistakes without actually doing it on, like, while you're painting. This is what's called iterative practice. It's quite of a mouthful, but it is so powerful. This can also build familiarity with your subject and with the type of light. If you, for example, I've been painting a lot of overcast days, and therefore I'm getting very familiar with what I need to do to make a painting look, or a painting have the atmosphere of a rainy day or an outcast day. And yes, it does get boring to do the same thing. I mean, we're artists, we want to explore the world, we want to try everything that we want and not have any limits. But in this case, when you want to improve and you want to also paint whatever you want, you have to decide, which one am I going to focus on today, or for this hour, or for these 30 minutes? And what am I going to focus on the next 30 minutes, or the next hour, or the next day? Every single thing that we do needs to have a same balance. For every hour that we practice something to actually improve our art, we should get an hour to just paint for painting's sake. just for our own enjoyment of the craft and not for trying to push ourselves to be better and to have successful paintings. Because, to be honest, painting is not about that. And neither is life. Life is not about achieving the thing, life is about enjoying the process of each stage of your life. And it's the same thing with painting. Each stage of painting is a beautiful one, and we have to learn how to enjoy that. But another way to really enjoy life and painting, it's by subscribing to this channel. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.